Welcome to the deep dive. We've got something special cooked up today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a deep dive. Just for you.
Cool.
We're diving into some excerpts from the Book of Ecclesiastes.
That's a good one.
It is. And, we're on a mission here
Like always.
to figure out what this ancient text has to say about the meaning of life and why it still matters.
Oh, yeah.
Even today.
Ecclesiastes doesn't mess around.
No, it doesn't.
It really gets into those big questions.
Yeah.
The tough ones about life.
Yeah.
It's brutally honest.
It is.
And at times even a little dark.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes it so relatable.
I agree.
Even thousands of years later.
Right. It still speaks to us today.
Yeah.
So the book kicks off with this line, the words of the teacher,
Okay.
son of David, king in Jerusalem.
Now that's interesting. We never get an actual name.
No.
But traditionally, it's attributed to King Solomon.
Yes, Solomon.
The wisest dude ever.
The wisest.
Builder of the temple, all that jazz.
Right, all that.
But is it really him?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Some clues point to him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The teacher talks about having unimaginable wealth, tons of servants,
Right.
building projects galore, all things that scream Solomon.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
And he even mentions collecting proverbs,
Oh, wow.
which is a pretty big giveaway.
Yeah, who else would that be?
Right.
But some scholars say,
Oh, really?
hold on, the language and the historical context don't quite add up.
Yeah.
It could have been written centuries later.
Interesting.
So we've got this mystery author
We do.
who's clearly been around the block a few times.
Yeah, definitely.
And has some serious thoughts about life.
They've seen some things.
Yeah.
And they don't waste any time
Nope.
getting to the point.
Race to it.
The book opens with a real punch in the gut. Everything is futile. Imagine reading that on a Monday morning. Talk about a mood killer.
Yeah, not the best way to start the week.
But what does futile even mean in this context?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is it like saying life is completely pointless?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
The Hebrew word here is hevel,
Hevel.
which is more about things being fleeting, temporary, almost like a soap bubble that bursts as soon as you touch it.
I see.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
You spend hours crafting the perfect Instagram post.
I've been there.
Get a bunch of likes, and then what? It's gone, forgotten in the endless scroll.
Yeah, you're right.
That's hevel.
Hevel.
Yeah.
So it's not full-blown nihilism.
No, not at all.
More like a reality check.
Exactly.
On what truly lasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ecclesiastes isn't saying life is meaningless.
No.
But it's urging us
Right.
to look beyond the surface, beyond those temporary highs and fleeting achievements.
Yeah.
It's asking, what are we really chasing? What truly satisfies?
Good questions.
Right.
And the book explores this in a bunch of different ways.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Like that whole idea of
Yeah.
everything being a never-ending cycle.
Right.
That line, what has been will be again.
Yes.
What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun.
I mean,
That's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
it is. It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Imagine it this way.
Okay.
You're on a treadmill,
Right.
running and running,
Yeah.
but you never actually get anywhere.
Oh.
That's the kind of futility
Wait a second.
Ecclesiastes is talking
I'm
about.
just getting in the place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like history keeps repeating itself. Trends come and go.
Yeah.
We strive and achieve. But ultimately,
Yeah.
does it really make a difference in the grand scheme of things?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
That's a bit unsettling.
It is a bit, isn't
Yeah,
it? But
yeah.
isn't there some inherent value in progress, even if it feels cyclical at times?
That's a great question.
I think that's what the book is wrestling with.
Yeah.
It's this tension.
Yeah.
On one hand, it acknowledges the allure of worldly success. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
it keeps reminding us of its limitations.
So where does that leave us?
That's the question, isn't it?
If even our greatest achievements
Yeah.
fade with time,
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of striving for anything?
Well, Ecclesiastes doesn't leave us hanging there.
Oh, good.
It explores several different
Okay.
types of futility,
Types of futility.
both external and internal,
Okay.
to help us understand where our focus
I see.
should really lie.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Okay.
What are some of these types of futility?
Well, for one,
Yeah.
the book dives deep into the limitations of wisdom.
Okay.
It even says wisdom is better than folly,
Huh, that's interesting.
which seems kind of contradictory, doesn't it?
It does.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's almost like saying, hey, wisdom is great.
Right.
But don't get too cocky.
Uh-huh.
Because it won't save you from the ultimate fate, death.
Exactly. There's that striking line.
Which one?
The wise man dies.
Oh, yeah.
And just like the fool.
Powerful stuff.
It's a sobering thought, even for someone like Solomon.
Right.
Supposedly the wisest man ever.
Yeah. So if wisdom can't conquer death...
Good question.
What can it conquer?
That's where Ecclesiastes gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's not just about doom and gloom. It's about refining our understanding of what wisdom truly means and where its boundaries lie.
I'm ready to dive deeper.
Let's do it. Another area the book explores is the problem of injustice in the world.
Oh.
The teacher sees people in power abusing their authority, the poor being exploited.
Sounds sadly familiar, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Like, we haven't learned much in a few thousand years.
Yeah, if even wisdom and good deeds can be forgotten.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about other pursuits we value.
Like what?
Like wealth.
Oh, yeah.
Ecclesiastes has a lot to say about that, too.
Okay.
It observes how the constant chase for riches can actually rob us of enjoying the simple things in life.
It's like that saying, money can't buy happiness.
Exactly.
Right.
The book highlights the anxiety and restlessness that often come with wealth.
Yeah.
There's this vivid comparison of a laborer sleeping peacefully while a rich man tosses and turns all night.
Oh, wow.
It paints a pretty stark contrast, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
It makes you question our culture's obsession with material success. Is it really the key to a fulfilling life?
That's a good question.
That's a question Ecclesiastes keeps circling back to.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it leads.
Me too.
Yeah, it's almost like we're conditioned to believe that more money, a bigger house, a fancier car will somehow fill this void.
Right.
But Ecclesiastes seems to suggest otherwise.
What's interesting is the book doesn't condemn wealth outright.
Okay.
It's more about recognizing the trap of endless pursuit.
I see.
Always striving for something more. And never truly finding contentment.
So it's not about having wealth.
Yeah.
It's about how we relate to it.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that true satisfaction comes from something deeper. Something that transcends material possessions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which brings us to another type of futility.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes tackles.
Which is?
The unknown future.
Right, right.
The teacher constantly emphasizes how little control we have over what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
Like, we can plan and strategize all we want.
We could try.
But ultimately, so much is left to chance.
True.
Remember that example of the small city?
Yeah.
With all its defenses falling to a king with just a few men?
Yeah.
Or how no one knows the day or hour of their death?
Yeah. That one's a bit unsettling.
It is a bit, isn't it?
Makes you think twice about those meticulously planned 5-year plans.
Right.
But if we can't control the future, does that mean we shouldn't even bother trying?
That's a good question.
Should just throw up our hands and say, whatever happens, happens.
Well, that's the tension Ecclesiastes navigates so brilliantly.
Okay.
It acknowledges the limitations of our control, but it doesn't advocate for passivity.
Okay.
It's more about finding that balance between accepting the unknown and still making wise choices in the present.
So it's not about giving up.
No.
It's about choosing how we respond to those curveballs life throws at us.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we can't control everything, but we can control our attitude, our actions, and how we choose to navigate the uncertainties of life.
That's actually pretty empowering.
It is, isn't it?
But all this talk of futility and limitations, it's a bit heavy. I'm starting to feel the weight of eternity on my shoulders.
Well, that's the beauty of Ecclesiastes.
Okay.
It doesn't shy away from the tough stuff.
No, it doesn't.
It confronts us with those uncomfortable truths about the human condition.
It is.
But it also offers glimpses of hope.
Okay, good.
Little nuggets of wisdom.
Okay, I need some of those nuggets right about now.
I hear you.
What's the antidote to all this futility? How do we find meaning when everything feels so fleeting and temporary?
One key message is the importance of finding joy in the simple things.
The simple things.
It's about appreciating a good meal, enjoying the company of loved ones, savoring those small everyday moments that often get overlooked in our pursuit of bigger, better things.
It's like that saying, stop and smell the roses.
Exactly.
But Ecclesiastes puts it even more beautifully.
It does.
Go eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God has already approved what you do.
Isn't that a wonderful image?
It is.
It's not about denying the hardships or challenges of life.
Right.
But about finding those moments of joy and gratitude amidst it all.
It's like a permission slip to actually enjoy life.
Yes.
Not just constantly strive for it.
Exactly.
But isn't there a danger of becoming too passive?
That's a good point.
Too focused on just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
And not achieving anything substantial.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Remember, Ecclesiastes is all about balance.
Right.
It's not advocating for a life of pure hedonism or ignoring our responsibilities.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot between striving and savoring, between ambition and contentment.
So how do we find that sweet spot?
Good question.
How do we reconcile this tension between the futility of worldly pursuits and the need to find meaning in our actions?
Well, one powerful message that resonates throughout Ecclesiastes is the idea of remembering our Creator. That famous line.
Which one?
Remember your Creator in the days of your youth.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that one.
Often gets interpreted as advice for the elderly.
Right.
But maybe it's more about recognizing a power greater than ourselves throughout life, no matter our age.
It's like finding that anchor point. That source of meaning that transcends the limitations of our earthly existence.
Exactly. It's about connecting to something bigger than ourselves, something that gives our lives purpose and direction.
And that brings us to the book's ending.
Yes.
The colophon, which feels like a culmination of all these ideas.
It's a powerful conclusion.
It is.
Yeah. It ties everything together and points us toward a way of living that embraces both the complexities and the beauty of human existence.
It's like we've been on this journey through Ecclesiastes, exploring all these types of futility. But then it throws in these glimmers of hope.
It does.
Like a roller coaster.
It is. It's a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, it really keeps you on your toes.
That's what makes it so compelling, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a downer. Yeah. It's an honest conversation about life's complexities.
Exactly.
And that colophon you mentioned, it really does feel like the culmination of that conversation.
So what does it say?
Well,
I'm ready for some wisdom.
It gets right to the point.
Okay, hit me with it.
Now, all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind.
Fear God.
Yeah.
That sounds a little intense.
I know, right?
Stop it.
But the fear here, it isn't about being terrified.
Oh.
It's more about reverence.
Nice.
Recognizing something bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
A force that sets the moral compass.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's about living with a sense of accountability.
Exactly.
Knowing that our choices matter.
Yeah.
That we're not just free-floating in a meaningless universe.
Exactly. And the colophon goes on to say, for God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil.
So it's like saying, hey, even if nobody else sees what you're doing, it still matters.
It does.
There's a higher standard.
Right, and it ties back to that idea we discussed earlier about finding a source of meaning that transcends worldly achievement.
Yeah, if we believe there's a higher power, a divine purpose, then our actions take on a different significance.
It's like we're playing a role in a much grander story.
I like that.
And how we play that role actually matters.
It shifts our perspective.
Yes.
From a self-centered focus to a more expansive view of our place in the world.
I like that.
So after all this talk of futility and limitations, Ecclesiastes ends by pointing us towards something beyond ourselves, a source of meaning and purpose.
Yes.
Outside of our own accomplishments.
It's not about rejecting those accomplishments or denying the value of worldly pursuits.
Right.
It's about recognizing their proper place.
I see.
Within a larger framework.
So it's about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Between striving for excellence and finding contentment in the present moment.
Yeah.
Between pursuing our passions and recognizing our limitations.
And I think that's the most beautiful and enduring message.
It is powerful.
Of Ecclesiastes.
Yeah. It doesn't offer easy answers.
No, it doesn't.
Or a one-size-fits-all formula for a meaningful life.
It's more like an invitation.
Oh, I like that.
To explore.
Yeah.
To wrestle with life's big questions. To find our own unique path. to purpose and fulfillment.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
It is.
A deep dive into the mysteries of existence.
And ultimately, it's a journey that each of us must take on our own.
Well, there you have it, folks.
We made it.
We've journeyed through the ups and downs of Ecclesiastes.
Ups and downs, twists and turns.
Explored its wisdom.
We did.
Wrestled with its paradoxes.
Lots of paradoxes.
And hopefully come out the other side with a deeper understanding.
Deeper understanding of ourselves.
And the world around us.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
For joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We hope it sparked some new insights.
Yeah, some new perspective.
Challenged your assumptions.
Maybe even shook things up a bit.
And inspired you to keep seeking.
Yes, keep seeking.
Keep questioning.
Always questioning.
And keep diving deep.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Remember, even though everything under the sun may be fleeting, there's still beauty to be found.
Yes.
Joy to be experienced.
Absolutely.
And meaning to be made.
Go out there and make it count.
You got this.